Development. And today we will discuss in this particular unit number 9. There are 5 topics are there: nature of human development, and what are the importance of prenatal period for human development, characteristics of various stages of development, and what are the strategies for eff- efficient handling of pre-primary learners, and more about the role of teachers in meeting the educational, social, and psychological need of learner. So we have discussed human development. You know, humans being undergo a serious series of systematic psychological change over the entire course of pan life. So this is human, and scientific study of change is known as development. So basically, it is a kind development of human at various stages, and that we covered in previous sessions. So there are few many things. Excuse me. Yeah, because we have learned many things about the psychology, and if we talk about developmental psychology, it is concerned not only with infant and children, it deals also with the adolescents. Adult development, gaining an entire lifespan, because psychology also play an important role at various stages of human life. So human development refers to the biological and sociological. In previous slides, we have discussed human development as biological and physical, but here the term psychological is added. So human development refer to the biological, sociological, and this physical, and now psychological change that occur in human being between growth until the end of adolescence, as an individual progress from dependency to increasing autonomy. Up to the increasing autonomy, human development take place at every stage. So the role of teacher again becomes very important. A role, a teacher role must be resourceful enough to understand the various stages of human development so that he or she can efficiently deal with the students belonging to any stage of life. And there are the 5 6 stages of human development from prenatal to adolescence in a chronicle way, because these stages we have discussed, but we will summarize again. Newborn, that is 0 to 1 month, infant 1 month to 1 year, toddler, then preschooler, then adolescence, then adulthood. Adulthood comes above 20 years, and adolescence, that is known as also teenage, means 13 to 19, 20, near to 20. This is the teenage. And preschool, we should be aware the exactly preschool that comes and that start 3 to 6 year, and the school age 6 to 13 year. So these are the important ages of human development, and as a teacher we all should be aware about these stages. And further growth and development that we have discussed in earlier slides. So, what are the principles of development? Development is also process, that is continuous process, and it has these four quality qualitative. First quality is continuity. So development is a continuous process from conception to death. In the early years of life, development consists of change that lead to the child to the maturity, not only body size and functioning, but also the behavior. Yesterday we have also discussed about the behavior and the role of behavior and how we can learn about the change of behavior by knowing the child psychology. Second is sequentially. Human development take place sequentially, and therefore most of psychologists are agree that development is sequential as well as orderly. Every species, whether or human or follow or even animal, follow the pattern of development particular to it. Means if you remember, yesterday we discussed, we learned various age as well as the development process and that particular ages. Then third is generality to specificity. Generality means first development take place in very general way, and thereafter some specifications found in the, even we can say, human body, even we can say in human behavior, even we can say in learning patterns also. First a child start learning Hindi, English, math, but there after the period of time, then he start taking interest in some particular and some specific, some uh, as per their need or interest, he start some kind of specialty. And if we talk about physical development, it's also, then some may taller, some may smaller. So all areas of development, general activity always precede specific activity. And fourth is differentiality. Individual differences take place. We have discussed individual differences. So development is not same in every individual. Individual differ in the rate of growth, development. Even in boy and girls, they are having also different rate. The if you see the example, same age boy and girls, their uh, race height rate may be different. Even body structure also, this is also based on individual difference. So these are the principle of human development. So what are the stages of human development? If that too we somehow we have learned in previous days, because we are discussing about development from prenatal to adolescence. So if we talk about prenatal period, then prenatal period is a developmental psychology, refer to the period which starts from the moment of conception and end at the time of birth. And this period lasts for approximately 270 to 280 days in length. The prenatal age is divided into three stages. It is also again further divided in three stages, which are explained as follows. One is the ovum or the germinal stage. The second is embryo state, and third is fetal state. If some are from biological background, they are more aware about these three stages. So ovum stage, this period extend up to 14 to 15 days after fertilization, and the zygote starts cell division from the first day of conception. Embryo, this is the second stage, The embryo start period start 2 week after the germination stage and goes up to the end of the 8 week. The fetal, this is the most important age, lasting from the end of second month to the birth of the baby. The fetal stage is significant stage of the prenatal period because in that particular age, students starts learning. Yeah, yeah. In fetal age, even a child start learning. There are so many examples, and we have discussed in previous slide, like the example of Abhimanyu, and so many more. The next. So, what are the characteristics of prenatal period? The prenatal period, the divided was divided in uh, 4 stages. Sorry, 3 stages. It has various characteristics in nature. First is the base of future development is laid by heredity, endowment. A quantitative change in the physical and psychological trait of this heredity endowment is likely to occur depending on the favorable or unfavorable condition before and after birth. Means whatever the physical and psychological traits, these traits develop in the prenatal period. Further, it is if there exists a favorable condition in the mother's body, the development of heredity potential will be fostered. On the other hand, unfavorable can stunt their development with long-lasting effect on the individual. The third is at the time of conception of the sex of the baby is fixed. The condition within the body of the mother has no effect on it. Boy, if there is a boy or it is a girl, there is no effect on the body, mother's body. So, prenatal period is characterized by faster rate of growth and development in the entire lifespan of the individual. At this age is known as the period of faster rate of growth as well as development, and which never occur in the whole life of the individual. The individual develops both internally and externally into an infant of about 20 inches in the length of around when weight is 7 pounds average. So prenatal period is a time when physical, environmental, psychological hazard can have a marked effect on the pattern of the development. There are even natural phenomena, natural activities which affect the prenatal period of the child. That may be the environment, that may be the family environment, that may be the relations with the family members. So this is a period when attitude are formed towards the newly created individual, and which later influence the way they are treated. So this is the time. Prenatal period is a time which where the activity and environment and even heredity takes very important play for the further development of the child. Yes, next. Yeah, the second, first was prenatal, and second is infancy. And infancy is first 2 week from the birth. So infancy is the shortest of all developmental period. It began from the birth of the individual and end when the infant is about 2 week old. So during this period, the infant make adjustment to the new environment outside the mother's body. It is a period when the infant faces both physical and psychological hazards and attempt to adjust to the new environment. Means the most important characteristics of infancy age is that to adjustment, means new adjustment from old adjustment. The third is babyhood. First 2 years of life is known as, this period is known as babyhood. And babyhood is a stage of life following infancy and is characterized as the true foundation of the life, because at this time behavior pattern, attitude, and a pattern of emotional expression also are being established, and they persist regardless of whether they are good or bad, harmful or beneficial. So this is about babyhood age. And babyhood age is also divided. If you remember the age and what should be the age, earlier we shown that I have shared a chart wherein different ages were discussed, and length and weight of the child was defined. And this is further for your information, it is being presented again. Weight, height, physical proportions, even bones, how are the bones, are they soft or are they hard or harder, and what is the condition of muscle and fat, body builds, teeth, number of teeth and the type of teeth, nervous system, sense, organ development, and these developments having some important characteristics like weight. If a child is having 4 month age, then the weight should be double of the birth weight. Please unmute Vaishnavi Kumari. Please unmute yourself. If is there any question?
Yes sir, what is infancy? Clearly थोड़ा बोलेंगे sir please.
See, clearly it's very short period as I discussed, and it is only 0 to 2 week only. Means 0 से 14 दिन का समय ही इन्फेंसी कहलाता है। और इसमें बच्चा जब वो पैदा होता है इमिडिएटली उसके 2 वीक में उसको एडजस्टमेंट का इशू होता है, बस वही प्रॉब्लम है, और वो माँ के साथ रह करके उस एडजस्टमेंट को लर्न करता है वो।
Okay, thanks sir.
So this is the chart showing different physical development and what are the characteristics. And I was discussing that if weight, if the child is 4 months, then the weight should be double with in the 4 month. And if the child is 1 year, then the weight should be thrice of the birth weight. So these are the standard. Sometimes it may differ from the actual and original growth of the child, and because the growth take place in various environment, various heredity, and various even social backgrounds. Next, so because this is the slide, next is what? Should I discuss this slide again or you got it? Okay, I should discuss some more important thing like bonds. Number of bonds increase because although a human body have 216 bond, but at the age of uh, starting age, the bonds are even near about 300, and after they joined together. So this is the kind of physical development. The even teeth comes. The general question maybe the how many teeth a human body had. Answer maybe 32, but no, 32 teeth in at very adolescence age. Otherwise, it comes only 16 to 28 like that. The next. So this is early childhood. This is important age, and for a teacher to whom you are interacting as a pre-primary teacher, this is an important age. So common emotions in early childhood, because early childhood we have discussed in detail in previous sessions. So here we are discussing the common emotions. What are the common emotions? So first is anger. At early childhood, the children express their anger through temper tantrums like crying, stamping, jumping up, down. So, as a result of conflicts over toys, or even they throw the toys, and they even sometimes they crack the toys also, and they attack on playmats. So, this is the symbols. This is the feelings of child to express that he or she is having anger. Further, he may have the emotions of fear. Fear is one of important because response like running away, screaming at the very sight of fearful, and some situations of fear arousing by listening stories and watching the different scene on television, or even that maybe there even in haunted house, which are in very common practice. Even in childhood, jealousy is also take place. So progressiveness towards their parents, parental attention and interest is a common cause of jealousy, because possessiveness, if the child is possessive towards parental attention and their interest, then they may have jealousy, because if the parent having two child, and although they may love both equally, but one may have kind of jealousy because he is in childhood age, and he understand that he is not being uh, given importance. So the emotions jealousy may start. It can be due to a new sibling who is not quite acceptable to them. Expression of jealousy may take the form of bad wetting, pretending, and to be ill. So these are the single purpose. And here the role of teacher and parents are needed. They may, they should guide the child in a proper way to reduce the cause of jealousy, even to remove the emotions of jealousy. Next is curiosity. See, curiosity is very important phenomenon, very important emotions of the child, because a child should be curious about everything, where he or she is living. He also be curious about their bodies and about others' body. The expression of curiosity takes sensory motor from initially and later, and it may be kind of questioning pattern. If the child is curious, then he always asks the question from parents as well as from teachers, even family members, envy the possessions and the ability of the other children of the same age group, means peer, give rise to envy, and common form of expression are explained and verbalizing their wishes. So this is the next emotion. Joy, the feeling of expressing of happiness. So successfully accomplishing a tough task or physical well-being, child shows the feeling of joy. And the method of joy may be kind of smiling, clapping hands, jumping up and down, even hugging the peer group and mother, father, and whosoever is the source of joy. So these are the common expressions of joy. Grief means loss of loved person or stolen of toy. This is the kind of emotions which child feels by crying. Even sometimes he lost the interest. He also expressed the emotions of grief. Affection. The child develop affection towards anything. Means whosoever or anybody gives them pleasure, gives them hugging, patting, kissing. These are the common expressions for the child, and by which the child may affect towards the family member, friends. So affection is the early childhood emotion. Next, this is the third stage, late childhood, and it comes after 6 years to 12 years. And in this particular age, common emotion, all the emotions which are in 0 to, 2 to 6 means early childhood. The late childhood, some emotions are also add and some may forget. So late childhood is addressed as a troublesome age. They are more influenced by peers at this age. At this age, the child argue with the parents that even argue about their friend that no, my friend is good. So this is the age where child think independently. And the name of this age is given gang age. Parents regards this age as a sloppy age. As children, especially boy, are careless, irresponsible. They comes from school and left the bag on the bed. So in that particular age, the role of parents become most important, more important to make them responsible. It is also the age of quarrelsome age. You know, most of family having siblings of both sexes, male and female, and this age is commonly named as quarrelsome means brother and sisters both are there. So educator named this age as elementary school age because in this particular age child start learning in the school, and this age also called as play age by the psychologist because they have defined through various theory that this is the age in which child play, even child learn through the play. Child have more interest on play. So this is the kind of other emotions, common emotions which are involved in the young child. And finally, we may say this is the kind of age which is going to start in a very important age that is known as adolescence age. So before going to adolescence age, there is a term puberty, means it also derived from the Latin words pubertas, and it has mean the age of manhood. I mean after 12, 13 year, child start to becoming a man. Although the development and the growth in both male and female found different, but the characteristics are same. This is the age which is overlapping period between late childhood and adolescence. So this stage lasts for around 2 years when the individual undergo rapid change in physical appearance as well as inside the body. Means the child feels there is change found in their body, in their physical appearance. So in this stage, the individual develop physically, psychologically, and becomes sexually mature. It is a stage of transition from childhood to maturity, and that's why this age is called age of manhood. You know, after 13, we have discussed in many sessions that the age of 13 means it will start 12 after 12, and where the last word is teen. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and up to the 20 means 12 to 20 year is a very important age of the child because in this particular age he thinks, he learn many things, he see many changes in the body, in the environment. So that's why this age is known as, even one philosopher has defined as, this age is the important role, and it is the period of टेंशन, तनाव का समय होता है बच्चों के लिए ये. एंड द रोल ऑफ टीचर्स, पेरेंट्स jointly becomes very important to shape this particular age of the child. This is adolescence. Most of things we have discussed the adolescence. It is also adolescence words derived from adolescere, means grow to the to grow to maturity, and you know that it start after 12 year. Adolescence age is an age when the individual becomes integrated with the society of adults, undergoing marked intellectual transformations. This is a very important period for, we have discussed the physical as well as psychological effect, as it is face rapid and important physical development. This results in establishing new attitudes, new values, new interest. Further, the adolescence age is the age, or is the state of confusion about what is the role, what is their role. Means, are they child or are they adult? So they always becomes confused about their role. As I said, one philosopher, even most of the philosopher and psychologists identified this age as a period of storm and stress. The adolescence undergoes extreme variation in emotions, because emotions also increase and found in changeable nature among the adolescent. Further, they are in a state of instability, as they are not sure of their capacities, their interest, their role, and the treatment they receive, because they feel that they are young, they are adult, but the family, parents, even their elders always feel that he or she is child. So defined as a threshold to adulthood, adolescence is a called as degraded age. They have an unrealistic outward towards the life. So that's why the very important term has been identified. Adolescence age is the period of storm and stress. So this is about unit number 10. So we may go the next slides, that is, because today also we have 4 units, and this is unit number 2, aspects of child development. So in this particular unit number 10, we will understand, we will learn about the various aspects of child development, and what are the applications interacting with the child, and what is the correlation between various aspects of child development. So we should go further. First, what is development? That we all are aware. Development is a continuous process. It is a inner. It is a kind of sociological. Excuse me. Let me take one call first. Yeah. So here we are discussing physical development as well as the only childhood. So the first category, first important factor is height. So you know the growth of height at every stage is not similar, but one thing is important, and growth proceed in rate slower than a bodyhood. Means in early childhood, the rate of uh, height, increasing height, that is slower in babyhood, because babyhood is the period of 2 year and in which heights increase at very small rate. We have discussed the weight in slide that I have shown that at particular age, what should be the age, what should be the weight and what should be the height in previous slide. Third is body. Body is also change in different age. Proportion change markedly at the baby look disappear from the face. Every time face changing, because the birth time face it change at various stage and many stages. Even many changes comes in the body, like neck elongate and chest broadens, abdomen, their arms, their leg. So from birth to maturity, many change comes in the body. Even you see at the time of birth and at the time of maturity, head becomes double. Forehead portions grow faster than the lower parts of the face, and this is because the brain grows rapidly. If you talk about brain development, at the birth, human brain is nearer to its adult size than any other organs. Other organs develop at very rapid, very fast rate, but brains develop at very slow and very continuous process. Muscle rate, muscle fat ratio, fat tissues develop more rapidly than muscle tissues. Bones, the bones are soft at childhood, and thereafter it becomes hard and they become strong. And sometimes, at the childhood, the family gives more carbohydrates, more protein, and because of these carbohydrates and protein intake, childs may become overweight, and because of lacking these two, the child may become very weak also in terms of muscles, in terms of fattiness. Teeth that I have discussed, that the generally we think then the person has 32 teeth, but this is not true. The teeth are first to come out of the gums, will be the first of fall out of as well. The falling out the baby teeth and the formation of permanent teeth continues till around 12 to 13 years. Means up to 13 years, new teeth comes and the process of falling of old teeth continuous up to the 13 years. So by onset the puberty, a child normally has 28, not 32 permanent trait. Skeleton growth, skeleton is the kind shape of inner body. So there are special growth centers called epiphyses in the bones of the body. The bones grow and the epiphyse become thinner and disappear. So this skeleton, the growth of this development of physical development of skeleton is also take place in the early childhood, because in childhood physical growths follow two patterns. One is capello-caudal and premaxo-distal. However, the physical growth is under the control of, it is totally physical growth is based on their heredity and environment. So hormones control the growth of the individual, and these hormones released by the pituitary gland. So physical growth follow a predictable pattern, although the variation do occur, yes, but good health and nutrition are important factors of child growth and development. Next. Yes. After the physical development, the second is intellectual development. So some are common forms of imaginary experience in early childhood, right? Means daydreaming. There are tendency then sometimes child's dreams in a day and create some images. So based on the child experience, the child imagines while awake in this fantasy, intellectual development. You know, imaginary he makes image he or she makes imaginary friends. Even child often reports imaginary experience also. Imaginary illness. He is not ill, but he may feel that he is ill. Animism. There are so many intellectual development, even dreams. So if we see this right, the most important is dreams, daydreams, and because of daydreams, he makes some imaginary friends, some imaginary illness, imaginary even happiness also. Next, if we talk intellectual development, so we should be aware then growth of intelligence. Intelligence is an inborn capacity. We have discussed in yesterday. Intelligence is what? It is the capacity to learn, to adjust, and it is not subject to direct measurement. Intelligence cannot be measured directly, although the formula is there. Mental age and based on mental age and this imaging age, intellectual activity accompanies manipulation and the solution of practical problems. Language development also take place in intellectual development. Intellectual activities accompanies manipulation and the solution of practical problems. And Shishore in 1947 investigated on child's vocabulary because in the childhood the child start to learn vocabulary also, and based on the result of Shishore, this is the result which is giving below that at the age of 4 5,600 basic words he learned. At the age of 5, 9,600. At the age of 6, 14,700. At the age of 7, 21,200 basic words he or she learned. And at the age of 8, 26,300 basic words. Further, at the age of 10 years, he learns or he or she is aware about the 34,300 basic words. And after the age of 9, the child begin the use shorter and more compact sentences. Means he starts. See, this age 9. Not this is not what would say. Yeah, it is year. So next stage is development of concept. Acquisition of concept is an important aspect of child intellectual growth. If a child has not acquired a concept of a particular word, it will be difficult for the child to learn the word and allied the word in terms of language. Growth of problem solving ability. Problem solving ability involves trying to reach the goal or to find out the solution. Whatever is the problem, the ability to generalize the solution. And next is accuracy with the age and wider range of experience. Means due to this intellectual development, the child try to generalize the problem. Child's trying to reach the goal. He is trying to solve the solution, and that too in very speed and in accuracy. So this is the phenomena of intellectual development in early childhood. Next, theories of cognitive development. Although we have discussed in Piaget theories, I think this is the thrice time that we are discussing about the Piaget theory. The Piaget was the Swiss psychologist, and he was the basically geologist, and he did the experiment on his own child, and he divided the cognitive development of the child into the 4 stages: that sensory motor, pre-operational, concrete operational, formal stage, formal operational. We have discussed in previous slides, and the age is also prescribed for the particular age, and sensory motor is birth to 2 year, pre-operational to 7 years, concrete 7 to 11, formal 11 years onward. And Piaget has also specified then what should be the learning pattern and what is the learning outcomes in all these four stages. So the implications of Piaget story, Piaget theory are very important, and the educationist as well as psychologist accepted his theory because based on theory of Piaget, a teacher learns a more about the child. So Piaget theory has a significant impact on preschool education. Three basic principles are there. One is emphasis on discovery learning. A child must be encouraged to discover themselves through a naturally interacting with the environment. So three basic educational principles of Piaget theory, and one is the emphasis on discovery learning. The second is sensitivity to children's readiness to learn. So level of cognitive development should be considered while deciding the learning experience. And third principle of Piaget's theory on educational, that acceptance of individual differences. Yes, every child has different capability, different ability, different quality. So early child has his or her own rate of development because of individual development, and teacher must arrange activities for individual. Even he or she may make some small group rather than whole classes. So these three basic principles of Piaget theory, and that's why Piaget theory has having very important role in educational psychology. Next, next theory we have also learned about Vygotsky socio-cultural theory. Vygotsky said the child explores knowledge in social environment in culturally adaptive ways. Vygotsky rejected the individualistic view of seeking knowledge as adopted by Piaget. The mental development begins to the transferred by social influence. Once the child develop ability of mental representation, so Vygotsky emphasized the role of language development on cognitive development. So Vygotsky was little differ from the Piaget because Piaget advocated the learning should be individualized. He said no, the learning take place in peer, in whole, because if you provide the individual attention to the individual, then others may have other feelings like we have learned in previous slide, kind of jealousy, kind of fear. So he emphasized that child should be developed in social environment, in cultural environment. Next, emotional development. I think we have learned this. Yes, we have learned affection, anger. How it comes twice. Yeah, moral development. We have also learned about Kohlberg theory of moral development. He has given the theory on moral development and which refers to the change with the age of thought, feeling, behavior, values, and these moral development can be divided in two dimensions. Means one may be the intrapersonal dimension and second may be the interpersonal dimensions. As for intrapersonal dimensions, a person basic values and sense of self. Because as per moral development, Kohlberg said that the role of teaching is to inculcate the values and to the guide the child. But these activity may have two roles. One interpersonal means child may learn the sense of self. And as per interpersonal, the pupil should do in interaction with others. So this is little about Kohlberg, although we have discussed in the previous slides. Social development. There are even social development, there are some unsocial behavior pattern. So as a teacher, as a parents, we should be aware about social pattern in the childhood, what are the social patterns. But we should also be aware about the unsocial behavior patterns in the child. First, we take the social pattern in the child. Prejudice, identification, internationalization, imitations, rivalry, cooperation, sympathy, empathy, social approval, sharing, and attachment behavior. These are the social patterns which play very important role among the child, and therefore the role of family and teachers should be to inculcate these social pattern in the child. Means learner should not be prejudiced, and he also expect some identity, some identification with the name and with their ability. The concept of cooperation should be developed. Even he should be inculcated the value and the importance of sympathy as well as empathy. Empathy means to feel like others are feeling. Even whatever he or she is doing, he expects the social approval. Sharing, even he or she should learn the sharing of ideas, sharing of knowledge, sharing of things, even attachment behavior. If we see these are the important for the development of the child, so there are some unsocial behavior patterns also, and they may also be aware by the teacher. Means First is negativism. If positivity there, then negativity is also exist. So negativism, about the negativism, student or child may be taught, but in a positive way, and this is not good. A child should not do. Aggressiveness, the role of teacher to mold the child, even with the help of parents. Incident behavior, selfishness. If we are successful to inculcate the value of cooperation and sharing, and automatically selfishness will be at narrow stage. Egocentrism, destructiveness, even sex antagonism also. So about these unsocial behavior, teacher must be aware, so that teacher may reduce these unbehavioral pattern from the child. Development of interest and attitudes. So no, see, some common interest of late childhood. One is appearance. Every child, whatever he or is she, is interested for their appearance after the childhood stage. They also prefer their clothing, dressing sense. Peer group performance to different dressing acceptable to the child. However, they have personal color preference. At the age of later childhood, the child starts for loving the color, for preferring the color, even the dress pattern, even the way of type of clothes. After the late childhood, he prefer, then he or she should be called by some specific, very special name. This is a common fact that no one is ready to be pronounced by their middle name. Everyone, every child usually interested that he or she should be called by his first name or his or her first name. Because if anybody call him or her by other name, he may be hurt and their ego may be hurt. Human body, by laterhood, child show interest in their body and its functioning. You always see his hand, his leg, his face. Health, usually concern about health and fitness, is less because he show the kind of careless and kind of irresponsible. So he least concerned that he may ill or he may suffer from fever and all. School, the attitude of late childhood learners towards school depends basically on approach of teacher. Even the school environment, the approach of teacher means how and what way the content transaction and carried out. Future vocation, although the late childhood is not the age to decide and what should do, what job is important for him or her, but by seeing the experiences, by looking the neighborhood, he or she also start thinking then he should be, and he has kind of uniform and excitement that he or she should get this prestigious, and even he makes some preferences of various job. You must have heard as a teacher, as a parent, that a small child says that I will become a doctor, I will become a pilot, although he doesn't know then what is the qualification, what is the eligibility to be a pilot, but he makes some preferences. State symbols. Children get interested in visible symbols of socio-economic status by dressing sense, by appearance. Even one more is important. Degree of autonomy children have or are interested in largely dependent on their friends. Even in this particular age, they argue with the parents about their friends, their peer group. Next, this was unit 10. Now that two units are left, time is child characteristics and development. So, in this particular unit, we will discuss characteristics of early childhood years, importance of preschool education for early childhood years, role of the parents in facilitating the development, and the role of teacher in early childhood education. So that subtopics are mixed. Let us see then what is the new, although we have learned so many things about these. So physical and motor development, we have learned height, weight, body proportion, body build, bones, and teeth. We have discussed even language development. We have discussed about the language development, even the word limit also, that at what particular age, what should be the word limit expected, and what age the learner should start the making the sentences. Social emotional development, we have learned social, what are the factors influencing social development, even emotional development, what is intellectual development, we have learned in previous slides in detail. We should learn about again Piaget. According to Piaget, a child entered into the pre-operational stage as he divided all the stages in four. The age of this cognitive development age in four ages, and one of them is pre-operational age, and this early childhood age comes under the pre-operational stage. At about 2 years of age till about 7 years of age, and during this stage, children thought process are developing and they lay the foundation of concrete operations. Next. Characteristics of childhood emotions. You know, emotions are frequent. Emotions may come anytime, anywhere, in anybody. If one is crying in a group, then others may have same kind of emotions. If one is laughing, then the other may in the position of laughing. So the emotions have the quality in transitory, in transition. Even emotions are intense. Sometimes emotions are brief, sorrow. Emotions reactions are quite flexible. One time he is laughing, and other time, and very next time he may start crying. Even emotional expressions of two childs for the same cause may be different. One may just smile, and second may laugh, and third may be very happy, and he or she start crying. Even the expression of child and the expression of adult may be the different, and the emotions can be detected by the symptoms of behavior. Whatever the child is behaving, then one can understand the emotions of child. So, what is the role of parents in early childhood? Although we have every time we learn the role of teacher, so in detail, in this particular side, we will discuss what is the role of parents in meeting the developmental milestones. So, as a parents, give your child lots of love and attention. If it is not wrong, if I would say that give lots of love and attention, and that to equally to all the child. There should not be any difference because of gender, because of age, because of color, because of other reasons. As a parents, they should give equal love and attention to each and every child. No matter what is the age of child, holding, hugging, and listening are important ways to show a child being loved. Means these are the quality. If the child is trying to say something, then as a parents, we should listen. We should answer. We should hold the child, and we should provide the feeling to the child that yes, we are with you. Means kind of hugging position. The second is interact with your child by talking, singing, playing, eating, and reading. We should not leave the child alone. Whatever is the way. If you are a farmer, after coming from field, the parent should spare some time. If you are a job worker, after coming at home, then the parent should spare some time with the child. And there may be the various way to spend the time. They may interact to each other by talking. They may sing a song together. They may play. Even they may eat together, and they may read together. The main important thing, how to spare our time with our child. Read book for children. As a parents, we should read the book children. There was a day when grandmother and grandfather used to tell the story to the child. But in present, it may and it may not be possible to the family that they are living in the without their grandparents. So the duty of Mother and father becomes very important. They should read the book for the children, because those parents who read to their children have a larger vocabulary, and this vocabulary may be useful to the child as well. Further, reading also provides children with a new perspective about the world where we live in. Even they can be motivated, they may get motivated to learn the book. Use appropriate parenting skill like caring answer to their queries. But as a parent, we should be also aware that we should limit TV time, video time, and try to we utilize that time by sitting along with your child. So this is the role of parent in early childhood. What are the role of play schools? Although from very beginning day, that is the first day, we are discussing about the role of play school in the child development. So being a pre-school help the child to grow in physically, intellectually, emotionally, and socially. It provides them various way to learn about themselves and develop a sense about others too. To be in preschool provide an opportunity to become more autonomous as they choose among many activities available to them. If these activities are according to their interest and capabilities, so their interest always increase, and therefore you must always make attempt as a teacher to make these activities more interesting. As they play with other children, they learn to cooperate, care about others, and also learn to deal with frustration and fears. So, as a teacher, you can provide a number of activities to advance their cognitive development, physical development, as well as intellectual development, even social development. And some cognitive development activities are given below. One is stimulate children's sense through art, music, tactile objects such as clay, water, and wood. Second is encourage them to observe the surrounding. And third is encourage them to talk to others, talk to teachers, talk to parents, talk to the friends. So these are the role of preschools. Basically, the role of teacher or as a whole, as a teacher of preschool. So this is the role of preschool in fostering development. Next, sorry, yeah, this is Unit 12, the characteristics of early childhood and late childhood. One second. Yes. So in this particular unit, we will discuss characteristics of early childhood period, features of physical development during late childhood, intellectual ability of late childhood, and what are the emotional disturbances during late childhood, and the role of parental. Further, what are the effective way of guiding child at late childhood stage. So, what are the characteristics of early childhood? First characteristic is cognition, and it is clearly defined by Piaget, Jean Piaget. Means he categorized into four the development age into the four stages. Second is self-regulation, moral development, physical development, personality development, and gender socialization. And next is emotional development. And what are these terms? We are aware about, I think, all these terms. We should go first because time is little less. First, we should take the characteristics of physical development. In the physical development of late childhood stage, it increased manual dexterity, increased strength, increased resistance to fatigue, accuracy and endurance increase in the relation to games. Means in late childhood, as far as physical development is concerned, the child become more strengthful. He learn about how to resist the fatigue. Even he always aware about the importance of games for their physical development through school environment and as well as through family environment. Next, intellectual development. Although we have discussed, but we should quickly go through them. A child begin to make clear distinction between himself and outer world. He or she seeks reality in his or her environment through the intellectual development. The concept of natural law. We always be aware through intellectual development what are the natural laws and almost fully developed by while we are age. And it is the time means late childhood is the time of eager absorption of information and ready accommodation of ideas, capacity for logical thinking, ability for operations in relation to concrete objects. He developed that ability. There is a shift in their interest from fairy talk to science fictions and adventurous novels, like he or she start to read factual materials. Courage and loyalty increase during this late childhood age. Children's at this late childhood age period show courage in doing various things. They start early imaginative fears and they becomes little bit bold. They show increased ability to generalize and solve the problems. They become able to find cause and effect relationship. Next, emotional development we have discussed. You know, Fun Gane was the social psychologist, and he also divided the late childhood age development in 8 ages. First is children, gangs are play group. As we said that this age was known as gang, children gang, and they belong to a gang. A child must be invited. Member of the gang are of the same sex. The first gang consists 3 4 members. It may be increased as per sports, as per play demand, and particular gang activities include games. Means one gang is not familiar about another play, then their play may be as per the interest of this particular group of late childhood. The gang has central meeting place, usually which are not watchful or under the watch of adults. They may wear similar cloth, and the gang leader represent the gang's ideas, and all member respect. It means kind of leadership quality is there and kind of supporting quality is there. Next, further the following are the areas where parents have to exercise for their discipline at home as well as school as well as outside of both. So sibling relationship is most important, means the parent should be much aware about the feelings, about the fear of the child, about the even emotion of jealousy. So they should be provide equal love, equal attention, equal affection to if the child are both eating. They should inculcate the habit of eating, timely sleeping, proper dressing, activities in a kind of happiness, disciplined manner. Parents should be tell the child about the school that this is the place for your learning of new things, learning of knowledge, new knowledge. They should tell the child about their health concerns. Even they may be a teacher. As a teacher, sometimes parents, mother is the first teacher of the child. So therefore, parents must watch or must stop for their inappropriate behavior. The parents must have watched adult interaction, to whom they are interacting and the way they are interacting. Parents should taught the child about the home environment, and the child may be aware about the social acceptance, social structure, social importance, social need. So these are the areas where parents' roles become important. Parents may use disciplinary techniques to save the child. Here we mean discipline means ensuring the child compliance with the guidance given to them. They may arise a natural conflict between social demand and children's wish and desire, but the same may be nullified if accompanied with a sense of improving himself on the part of the parent. That parent may be mother and father. So the overall role for shaping the child or the responsibility lies on parents, teachers, preschools, society, and peer environment. So, as a parents, we shall consider the nature, impact, and significance of parental role on the development of child. Some people think that the importance of the impact of mother's role on the development of the child is diminishing, but this is not true. In fact, for the first few years of the child life, even up to the pre-puberty stage, it may be regarded as a primary, and as the children happen to be more attached with their mother. That's why mothers always considered as a first teacher of the child, and home is the first school of the child. Next. So what should be the guidance? Even we have discussed about the guidance yesterday. So, if we are talking late childhood, then proper environment should be provided in home and school. Children should be encouraged to express their feeling. Security and independence should be given in the home and schools. Provide opportunity to participate in game, cultural activity, and picnic. A child should not compare one student with another, especially when with students of opposite sex. Be domestic in your outlook. Provide opportunities for boys to have more association with men during childhood. When children show emotions outburst, treat them calmly and intelligently with love and affection. Respect the individuality of the growing child and express faith in children. Reinforce the desirable behavior of children. Out of the family experience, out of the school experience should be provided for the children in the local community, and children should be encouraged to participate in school as well as home also. Even some good habit may also be developed by using kind of craft, kind of good hobbies. They may be engaged in various uh, activity, and in these activity he may create, he may make some important, even the shape of toys, and some important things for the development of the child. So this is unit 13. I think this is the last unit. We have 10 to 8 to 10 minutes. So in this particular topic, again, we will try to learn the various needs of children at the early childhood stage, importance of various development need, and what are the factors influencing the intellectual, social, emotional, and mental development of the child, and how to measure to ensure the fulfillment of the need. So, should go quickly. Intelligence need of children. You must have noticed that there is a rapid intellectual advancement in the preschool children, and they are eager as well as excited about learning new things and making the new discoveries. Means the children at preschool about the time, about the speech, means they started uh, speaking, even making the sentences, even learning the new words, new or even enriching their vocabulary. They start reading, even reasoning with reason, reasonably. They try to solve the problems also. But these all should be under the proper guidance of the teacher and parents. Factor influencing the intellectual needs. So intellectual development depend on the growth and development of the brain and on the stimulation of the developing intellectual abilities. And several factors in the environment affect children's cognitive development in the preschool years. Curiosity varies from children when they are exposed to stimulating surroundings, intriguing new objects, stimulating toys, and play space right for their age. Help children. So parents are the first teacher of the children, and parent must have the responsibility for the making their home environment stimulating enough to keep their preschool child mind alert and active. Means at the school, sorry, at the home, teachers should have, learners should have, or child should have kind of motivation to go to the school. Memory, imagination, creativity, these are the three factors which are interlinked between the intellectual development of the child, because memory also important cognitive factor that learns store the words, vocabulary, theories in their mind. And imagination also started during this childhood care age. He takes some examples and try to connect with other through the imagination. And every child is creative, and creativity should be developed at home as well as in school, because it leads towards the personality of the individual. Next, so following are the way through which, as a teacher, can let the child to explore the creativity in them. In a school, teacher may give choice to the child that as per their interest, as per their ability. Stimulation, yes, if the learner is or child is not ready to do some creativity, then teacher may stimulate. He may some kind of reward you. He may give some kind of reward for doing some creative work, and teacher should provide the time for play, because during the play other things stop. We started to spend time with the peer group and with itself or herself. Next. So, what are the conditions affecting the development of creativity? Child training methods, the kind of syllabus, kind of curriculum, kind of trainings should be given to the prospective teachers or in-service teacher, so that creativity can be inculcated among the students. Adventurousness, you know, sometimes child is himself or herself is adventurous, but sometimes teachers or parents roles become important to make them advantageous, because advantages also play important role for creativity. Decision making is also one of most important, because once child face some issues and some hurdles during some creative activity, then he or she has some level of decision making. Pressures of conformity, play equipment, criticism, ridicule or praise. Criticism is also one of, although it is a kind of negative motivation, but if a child having the quality of more creativeness, but sometimes because of many reasons, if it he or she is criticized by their peer group, then he may do good creativity work. Reward and punishment both are important for teaching learning. So that's why ridicule and praise also important for the creativity, for the development of creativity. Next. So what are the emotional needs of the children? The needs of love is one of the most basic needs. A child is not loved, always feel irritated and unhappy. So the parents and teacher must bestow their love and affection on the children. But as well as discipline at the home and school must be based on love, not fear. Conflict at home also make children insecure. So home environment should be very conducive. Every child is born with the potential for emotional expression. So from the simple emotional stress present at birth, new and more complex emotions develop at various stages. And this development comes partially from maturing, but mostly through learning. Although some comes through experience and days, but mostly emotions come through learning. And by the end of first year, the baby feel fear, anger, jealousy, envy, curiosity, joy, affection, all are the emotions, and these emotions are fairly well developed, even well modified, based of learning, teaching method, and environment of school, environment of family. Next, social needs of preschool children. So some are social needs, means overt performance, adjustment, social attitudes, personal satisfaction. These are the social characteristics of social development in preschool children. And some social behavior leads in babyhood, means imitation, shyness, attachment behavior, dependency, rivalry, attention seeking, social cooperation, and resistant behavior. These are the social characteristics and social behavior in babyhood. Relationship, relations with other children. So we have already discussed many of the behavior pattern of child in various situations in early childhood. If you talk social situations, then cooperations, rivalry, even generosity, desire for social approval, sympathy, empathy, dependency, friendliness, unselfishness, imitations, attachment behavior, negativism, aggression, quarreling, teasing, and bullying, antecedent behavior, egocentrism, prejudice, and sex antagonism. So these are all the social, although some are positive patterns and some are negatives. So these behaviors should be inculcated in a good way to make a good citizen and good human being. Mental development. For the satisfaction of the mental needs, it is the importance that child needs to be feel happy, and that too from inside. It should not be false happiness. Happiness is different for each individual. There is no one thing that will make children happy. There are, however, certain things that add to true happiness, and there are three: achievement. If learner, if child achieve something, then he became happy. If he or she has social acceptance, social agreement, yes, that boy, that girl is very cool, very good, very nice. And third is affection, affection with parents, family members. They child become, and these are the factors. By achieving these, child become happy. So this is, oh, time is over. So thank you very much. Nowadays we are crossing our limit. Okay. Yeah, Deepak Maurya.
Sir, I have a question about assignment.
Assignment.
Yes, sir. I want to ask that which type of paper which we will use
Any
for
any
writing the
type
assignment.
any type of paper, but assignment should be in your handwriting, in your views.
Sir, practical A4 size practical copy papers we
Any
can use that.
any paper, A4 size, A3 size, whatever paper available for you.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
We'll see you tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you.